was just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us.
He is definitely from Heir to the Empire. Does that mean we're getting EU in live action? Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fumbling Through the Galaxy with your host, Severus Snape. Today we're going to be looking at a Bishoujo style Kotobukiya statue of Mara Jade known through the EU. The EU is, of course, the expanded universe in Star Wars, which today is known as Legends. So, if you're somebody who wants to get straight to the toy, please fast forward, get to the toy review section. You will absolutely love this. It's yet another banger from Kotobukiya. They simply never miss when it comes to their Bishoujo style, and certainly when it comes to most of their statues. For Star Wars, I have yet to find one that I have not liked. So have a look. You'll really enjoy that. For those of you who want to talk a little Mara Jade, please stick around and let's get into it. So Mara Jade, also known as the Hand of the Emperor. So we're first introduced to Mara Jade in the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which of course is Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And that trilogy was written by Timothy Zahn as part of the expanded universe, which is that time period after Return of the Jedi and up until the prequels, and then Disney, of course, upon their purchase of the IP, decided that all the expanded universe would be rebranded to Legends, and then anything after that was going to be canon. Not without its controversy, obviously, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So we're introduced to Mara Jade in Heir to the Empire, and she's known as the Hand of the Emperor, which means that she answered directly to Palpatine and followed Palpatine's orders as his hand. And that included, of course, the assassinations of political foes, the murder of Jedis, and whatever else was necessary. And one of those missions was, in fact, killing Luke Skywalker, which then, of course, never occurs. Instead, we get this great pivot where Mara Jade actually becomes Luke Skywalker's spouse. They have children. She is the aunt of Jaina Solo, which is another Kotobukiya figure that we looked at some months ago. Check my channel. It's a good one. And Mara Jade is heavily featured, of course, in the Fate of the Jedi and the New Jedi Order books. So that's Mara Jade. And that is the EU kind of, the side note of that, of course, is the EU, as I just alluded to earlier, and its importance in Star Wars, certainly in the fandom, and its adoption into modern day Star Wars, canon Star Wars, certainly in live action. And when people say things like, what from the EU or Legends is now canon, you've got characters like Thrawn, which was rewritten into a canon trilogy by Timothy Zahn. You've got Coruscant, double lightsabers, planets, Force lightning, scenes from the book of Force lightning being stopped with a lightsaber, which we see here. And so that's, and then of course, Thrawn. And so those are just examples of some of EU that has been adapted or recanonized in some cases and then put into live action. And so, I bring that up because Disney, I think is aware of the importance of the EU. I think they are certainly open to adopting some of the things from the EU. So having said that, I, for one, would absolutely be thrilled if they somehow find a way to bring Mara Jade into canon and in live action. Now, I do know that the new Rey trilogy, or the new Star Wars trilogy that will feature Rey, is set to start shooting in the near future. From all the rumors I've heard, and if you've heard different, by all means, leave a comment, let me know, is that it will be heavily based on the New Jedi Order books that were the EU books, and which is a series that was that heavily featured Mara Jade. So if they find a way to bring her in, and I don't care if she's Luke Skywalker's wife or not. Honestly, I don't know that they can do that in live action at this point, or maybe they can, and like they did with him in The Last Jedi, they make him so intolerable that she couldn't live with him anymore. But however they bring her back in, I hope that they do. I think she's a fantastic character. I think she is a character that should be explored. I think she has a fantastic story. I think she has a great redemption arc. I think just her time as both the Emperor's Hand and then her time as a Jedi Master, I think is just a great polar end, and again a great character arc. And so would be really excited for live action Star Wars or canon Star Wars today to explore that. So anyway, that's my hope. I also hope that Disney, just as the owners of this IP, start to really, and I think they are in good hands with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I'm hopeful that they start to take a lot of those EU characters and storylines that were just so good, and start bringing that into modern day Star Wars or canon or Disney Star Wars, however you want to refer to it as, because I think those are stories that deserve to be told. I think they're stories that are some of the best content that we've ever had from Star Wars. I think the fans that supported the EU during all those, in between all those years of live action, who kept the IP going, who kept the fire burning, the coals stoked and hot, I think they deserve a little bit of acknowledgement from Disney. I think a lot of Disney shows today that are almost dead on arrival, and again, this is just my opinion and my observations. I feel like some of that is because of the fan base that at this point is so bitter, and just so jaded by some of the decisions that Disney seems to have taken, that they feel ignored, and they feel underappreciated, and quite frankly, when they took all the EU and just made it legends and said none of that really exists anymore, a bit of a slap in the face, if we're being honest. And again, as you can tell from my previous videos, I'm not down on Disney owning Star Wars. I'm not down on Favreau and Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not down on where it's at. I'm hopeful that we'll continue to get good content. I think they were absolutely correct in doing some High Republic content. I'm not sure that the Acolyte hit it the way that we would have liked as fans of the literary world of Star Wars, and especially the High Republic. But I was happy to see that they were taking Star Wars in a new direction, and they were trying to expand the universe that we already know and love. I'm super hopeful that they will continue with that. I think we need to support them so that they can continue with that. As I said, review bombing and killing shows before they've even come out, or finding political reasons for why shows are bad and things like that. It's not that I disagree with it, because I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I think it's important that people do point out when something maybe isn't good. But I also think that some of it is coming from a place of just rage farming and hating, and it hurts the franchise. And it hurts the franchise in that, if you want to see all this good stuff, you've got to take the good with the bad. And you've got to realize that there are people there that are trying to bring that content to live action and are trying to do those things, but they're not going to get the chance if all you do is crap on a show and kill it before it even has a chance to breathe. And I think that's the case with The Acolyte. Am I going to sit here and say that season 1 was an absolute banger? No. But it was a High Republic show which was bringing new content and different storylines that could have really expanded some of the EU into live action. And it may or may not ever get that chance because it was never given that chance. And so we live in an interesting world. I don't think that's specific to Star Wars. I think that's specific to a lot of IPs these days. I think creators and studios, if they don't get an absolute banger out the gate, I think sometimes they're really quick to pull the plug. But anyways, that's my take on that. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think we are going to get Mara Jade in canon? Do you think the New Jedi Order, will borrow from the EU version of the New Jedi Order? Do you think that Disney is in good hands? Do you think that, there is an opportunity to expand the EU into live action? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm curious. I know that when you talk about Disney and Star Wars, certainly you're courting potentially very passionate arguments. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that, I think that there's hope, that it will go in the right direction. And I'm curious to know, do you also feel the same way? And if not, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, Mara Jade, awesome character. Hoping against all hope that we get to see her in live action sooner than later. Anyway, so these Bishoujo statues. Bishoujo statues are really cool in made by Kotobukiya, because they kind of take very popular characters and make them in this style of Bishoujo, which is like, really kind of a more feminine angle for some characters. Some characters like Mara Jade and Jaina Solo, they just are, because there was always female characters. But, they have like a female pinhead, which is awesome. They have a female Beetlejuice, which is also awesome. And then they've got, your series from The Witcher and your Batgirl. And that's just to name a few. I mean, they've got Cammy from Street Fighter. They've got, it just goes on and on and on. They've got characters from all IPs. They've done them all, or a lot of them. For Star Wars, they've only done Jaina and Mara Jade, and they specifically picked the EU, which for me is amazing. Because Hasbro actually gave us a 4-pack from The Last Command. And I don't know if you've seen this 4-pack. Here it is, which is a great 4-pack, right? So you've got your Mara Jade, your Luke with 2 U's, which is the clone Luke. And then you've got Jared Siboth. I don't know what the pronunciation on that, but anyways, and then his Force Lightning, which is a lot of fun. And that Force Lightning, of course, is again something you see in canon now, and that was completely taken from the EU books. And so Hasbro actually gave us a 4-pack of the EU, which is really exciting. And so outside of that, really, and Gentle Giant, the only game in town, and really not a whole lot from Hasbro, for being honest, but the only other ones that I've seen are these Bishoujo styles. And this Mara Jade is just incredible. In fact, look at my earlier videos. I really enjoyed the Jaina Solo, but this Mara Jade is actually on another level. So here she is. And so this is her, different, you can see her with a cape. You can actually do her with and without the cape. So they call this a 1/7 scale pre-painted figure. And yeah, this is just a gorgeous figure. And I'm really looking forward to opening this and showing you guys what it looks like all assembled. But again, like, share, subscribe. Please leave some comments, engage. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the EU versus Legends versus Canon. Which one is your favorite? Let me know what you felt about Heir to the Empire, the High Republic we talked about a little bit. And then, of course, let me know if you think we're going to see Mara Jade in live action and how you think she could be introduced into live action. I figure at this point, it's going to be in a roundabout way, and I don't think we're ever going to see her as the spouse of Luke Skywalker, or at least certainly not the current spouse of Luke Skywalker. Let's get to this toy. Let's have a look at this thing. Okay, so here we are at the table. This week's table is a little different. It's the holidays. Family are visiting, so this is the only quiet space I could find, which is one of our rooms in the basement. So this is the Kotobukiya box. We can see here, great window showing the top half of Mara Jade. Reads Kotobukiya Artifacts, 1/7 scale, pre-painted model kit. So that's what they usually call theirs. Again here, just a wonderful, wonderful box art. Absolutely always a banger with Kotobukiya. And here we have, of course, the back of the box. So I'll certainly try and get that a little more in focus here. I mean, just really good stuff. I mean, I can't wait. Kotobukiya, very much like Sideshow, you get pretty much what you see on the box and what you're going to get with the figure, which I've always really, really enjoyed. No surprises. You know, sometimes you do get things that look really, really good on the packaging, and then you open up the figure and you realize it's nowhere near as good as it is in the packaging. So in the back of the Kotobukiya boxes, of course, you always get a bit of a rundown of the character. So here, the writing is rather small, so I'm not really going to get through into this, but suffice it to say, we spoke about Mara Jade in a preamble. I gave you all the history there. So this is just basically giving us, you know, that in detail. Yeah, I don't know why they... Writing is so small here. One thing I have noticed, though, is I love the fact that they say Mara Jade, originally an elite operative for Emperor Palpatine. So that's a nice way of saying assassin. All right, let's have a look at this figure outside the box. So here she is in her packaging. So we can see she comes with her goggles, the blue and purple lightsaber, the hand, the extra arm. At the back, of course, no doubt will be the cape. And here's the cape there. So let's take her out and have a look. Okay, so one thing to note, of course, here's her torso. Which again, the level of detail in the boots here that you can see, her weapon in her holster. Really fantastic texture on the pants, belt. As always, Kotobukiya. I mean, we've talked a bit about the Bishoujo and the style of it. Very feminine, very curvy. So they've certainly kept that theme going here with Mara in these ones. One thing I love about, of course, the Kotobukiyas is the base. Now, we know that with the Jaina Solo, we got the base that was part of the X-Wing crew. Here with Mara Jade, we just get a plain clear base. Nonetheless, though, that's awesome. You can see here at the bottom of her feet, she has pegs. So let's put her together. So here we are attaching the cape. The cape actually has a great snap-on that's here underneath and had a recess in her, just above her chest plate area in order to fit the cape on. Again, wonderful dynamic movement, as is always the case with the Kotobukiya. Great texture in the cape. Just really fantastic dynamic movement there. You know, Kotobukiya never misses. Of course, her head, which, as always, has a wonderful sculpt, which, you know, never misses. So here's her head here. You know, really fantastic movement in the hair, beautiful coloring. Never fails. Kotobukiya is just awesome. So, you know, if you're someone who's going to do it with the cape, which is how I'm going to do it, you're going to want to put the cape on before the head. And let's get the head on and see what that's all about. So here, no doubt, it's going to be on an angle. And again, you get that great snap fit technology, so it's super easy to put on. And there she is with her cape in her head. Already loving this. Let's get the arms on. So one cool thing about this one, as you know, Jaina Solo came with Rogue Squadron on the base. This one actually comes with 2 different stickers. So we know that, of course, Mara Jade was a character that worked both for the Empire and then eventually the New Jedi Order. So yeah, they leave it up to you to decide which base you're going to take. I think for her, I kind of like the idea of, you know, putting the Imperial one, since I've already got Jaina with Rogue Squadron. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Imperial one. So I believe, yeah, so what you can do here is there's a layer in between in the base where you can put this sticker. So I'll do that and come back in a moment. So yeah, here it's just simple pop out. You pop out this part, and again, you stick either this or the Jedi Order one onto the base. After thinking about it, I'm actually not going to do either. I'm going to keep this mint as is. I'm okay with the clear base. I'm actually going to keep it like this, keep it in the package and not touch it, and put it back in its nice little package that it came in. Hey, this is what we do as collectors, right? We make these decisions. Even though I love to display my statues, I take them out of the box. I think this is something that I'll actually keep like that and not use those. So, yeah, let's put her on her base, have one final look at her, and wrap it up. So here's a last look. Here's Mara Jade in all her glory in her Bishoujo style. I mean, this is just a fantastic figure. The detail, the colors, the pop, I mean, everything about it is just fantastic. I cannot complain. I'm so happy to have found this figure. This was not an easy one to come by. The hunt was real. And so, you know, once again, Kotobukiya just absolutely smashing it out of the park. So again, as I spoke about in the preamble, you know, do you think we're going to get a live action Mara Jade? You know, are you happy with the direction that Disney's going? Are you hopeful that they are trying to take the franchise in the direction and reintroducing some of the legend stuff into modern day canon? Again, like, subscribe, and share. And until the next video, may the Force be with you always.